Close to 24 draft horses and mules will be part of the largest plowing competition on this West Coast this weekend.
Yeah, right. So the competition is actually part of an annual event in McMinnville known as Farmfest. Our Drew Carney brings us a preview this morning live from the Yamhill Valley Heritage Center. Drew, you've been busy all morning long.
Yes. Yes. So do you recall China and Christine way back when? I think it was, 30 minutes ago. I was churning butter. We were making butter on the spot. We have some of that butter. Oh. It's been placed upon this saltine cracker. Oh. Yes. And I can eat our freshly made butter. That is delicious. That's good butter, Gary.
Excellent.
It's wonderful butter. We made it ourselves, and we continue the making here this morning. Now we're hanging out with Gary. He's a volunteer blacksmith here at the Yamhill Valley Heritage Center, and we're inside the blacksmith shop. This is just one of the activities you can check out this weekend. Can we pull up the full slate of information for this event? Because I will tell you, it starts at 10 o'clock in the morning this Saturday. It wraps up at, excuse me, I almost choked on my butter-filled cracker. It wraps up at 4 p.m. on Saturday. The main event is that draft horse plowing competition, the biggest of its kind on the West Coast, mind you, but there are so many other things happening here as well. They have a sawmill that you can check out. They've got the kids' activity area, and yes, they have this blacksmith shop. All right, Gary.
Go ahead, grab your tongs.
Well, wait a minute. I got to give you the proper introduction.
Oh.
Gary Johnson. Gary said, I'm not doing any talking today. I'm just going to do them doing. I said, no, Gary, you got to walk me through this process. So what do I do to make a hook?
Grab the tongs.
Tongs.
Bring the metal over to the anvil.
What if I was doing this with no gloves on? How badly would that hurt?
It would hurt.
All right, I got to get on this side?
Yes.
All right.
Take your hammer.
Yes, I got to do both jobs? I'm holding it with my left, my weak hand.
Go ahead.
And hammering with right here?
Yep.
Like where at?
Right here towards the tip.
Well, how the heck is that going to work so well there, Gary? My strong hand just knocked this piece of metal out of my weak hand's hand. All right, I got it back.
Lay it down.
Don't lay it down?
No, lay it down and I'll show you.
Okay.
Grab it like this and like that.
Yeah, okay.
Now hold it.
You think that's going to do the trick?
Really tight, really tight.
Oh my gosh, I'm doing it as tight as I can. And then I take this hammer. Oh, see, that's, okay. And then hit it on the end. I would like to hit it here, but you want me to hit it on the end?
You're right, right. Go easy. There you go.
Oh, it is bending.
Yes.
I thought I was going to have to give it a big whack, but these short movements seem to be doing the trick. Wait, were we making an L or a hook?
It looks like an L, but
if I keep hitting it, it will become a hook? We need a hook in television. I need a hook in the audience.
We need to put it back in the fire and get it hot.
It's not hot enough?
Nope.
Then why am I sweating? All right, here's the deal. As I make my metal even hotter this morning, we will tell you one more time about Farmfest. It's this Saturday. It's 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's free for all kids under the age of 12. It's only $8 if you are an adult. And yes, you can check out this live blacksmithing area as well as the draft horse plowing competition. We're going to preview that in our next hour of the show. We're out of time already, Gary.
Let me hold this.
Okay.
And you hammer.
Let him
all right,
help
I'm
you.
going to hammer. Here we go now. Oh, yes. There we go. There's the hook. We got a hook, baby. Woo! Yes. Why didn't we do it that way from the start, Gary?
I wanted you to experience this.
Oh, Gary is not impressed.
Oh my gosh, well with the help of Gary, he got that hook. Yeah.
I'm feeling kind of foolish now because I'm realizing now I get why the anvil has that rounded end.
Oh yeah,
That's
right?
where they use it to make the hook. I never realized that.
The largest plowing competition on the West Coast returns to McMinnville this weekend.
And that is where Drew Carney is this morning, getting into everything. He joined us live from the Yamhill Valley Heritage Center to give us a preview of Farmfest. Good morning, Drew.
We were also getting into the rain. Christine and China a moment ago, but the rain has let up for the moment, so we're happy about that as we stand outside telling you all about Farmfest here in McMinnville this weekend. We will bring you those details right now, filling the screen with all that good information. It's one day only, that's Saturday. It starts at 10 a.m., it runs until 4 p.m. It's really an opportunity to step back in time out here at the Yamhill Valley Heritage Center and experience life on the farm. Everything from blacksmithing to sawmilling to butter churning to, yes, draft horses plowing the fields. So we don't have draft horses next to me right now, we have mules. We're going to explain why we have the mules here in just a moment. Also, perhaps you're wondering, what makes a mule? It's a cross between a female what and a male what? To be answered here momentarily. But I have an all-male guest here this morning, Wayne Beckwith. Wayne, there's an opportunity here, and we can bring the horses in the background if you're ready, Dwayne. Dwayne is working the draft horses. You're a mule guy. Both can plow the fields, but they do it a little differently. Talk about why you prefer working with the mules.
Well, probably why I prefer is kind of like my grandfather said way back when I was a kid, you know, whatever you're driving is the best, right? If you drive a Ford, then Ford is the best. But I got started with mules. And then found out how wonderful they were.
What, in your opinion, now we don't have to say this too loudly because Dwayne over there
Yeah.
clearly likes the
There's
draft
an
horses.
ongoing discussion about this in our group.
Just between me, you, and the few people who are watching, the few thousand people who are watching,
Yeah.
why do you prefer the mules now?
Well, I prefer a mule because they're easy keepers. They eat about a third less per pound, you know, than a horse would. They are very sure-footed. They're very smart. They take care of themselves. People say, oh, the stubborn as a mule, you know.
Yeah.
That stubborn idea comes from the fact that they're very, very protective of themselves. I don't spend very much on vet bills. They don't go out and get themselves torn up in a fence.
Thank you for not doing that, you two. It's very nice of you to do that to Wayne and keep things easy on him. Well, you and I are having the fun part of talking. We're making Dwayne do all the work. Hey, Dwayne, how easy is it to turn those horses around and go the other way? You're going to demonstrate that for us right now. Draft horses going the opposite direction. We'll talk to Dwayne, find out why he likes the horses, say, instead of the mules, a little bit later this hour. But one more question for you, because I mentioned this at the very top. Some people don't know. What actually makes a mule? What do you need to make a mule?
Unless you have a lot of money and want to clone one, which is possible now, you take a female horse
Yes?
and a male donkey, you mate them, and you get a hybrid, and they're sterile, so they don't have babies.
Okay. But it's a female horse and a
Female horse
male donkey.
And a male donkey.
Now, if you took a male horse
Yeah.
and a female donkey, that would create a whole other animal called a what?
Called a henny.
A henny.
Yeah.
See, I never heard of a henny. Never heard of a henny, gang. I've only heard of mules. The mules will be drafting, or plowing, I should say, the fields. The draft horses will be plowing the fields. It's all happening Saturday out here, gang, part of Farmfest. And we'll do some plowing as well coming up here at 6:45.
Close to 2 dozen draft horses and mules will be part of the largest plowing competition on the West Coast this weekend.
Right, so the competition is part of an annual event in McMinnville known as Farmfest. And of course, if you've been hanging out with us, you know Drew's been out there plowing the fields in Yamhill County.
Yep. We've got Claire with me right here. We have Sophie with me right here, Christine and China. They are 2 of the draft horses getting ready for Saturday's big competition. So before we go any further, girls, let's get that information up on the screen. We're talking about Farmfest 2024, held every year at the Yamhill Valley Heritage Center in McMinnville. It starts at 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, wraps up at 4 p.m. Lots of hands-on activities. You can learn how to churn butter. You can watch the blacksmith do his thing. There's a sawmill operation here to check out. It's really a step back in time to the way things used to be done out on the farm, including the way they used to plow the fields. So yes, it is the largest draft horse plowing competition on the West Coast. It's really the highlight of Farmfest on Saturday. So not only do we have the Sophie and the Claire, we also have Dwayne. Dwayne Van Dyke joins us to wrap things up this morning. So earlier, about 30 minutes ago, you saw us talking to Dwayne. No, you're Dwayne. He's Wayne. It gets confusing out here on the farm. You saw us talking to Wayne. He's operating the mules.
Right.
You go with the draft horses.
Yes,
Why
correct.
do you prefer to work with the draft horses versus the mules?
Well, I grew up with them as a kid, so that was my first deal. And Horses are a little more forgiving than mules.
Okay.
You know, a horse, if something happens 3 times, it's a habit. A mule, it happens 1 time, done. It's all over with.
So obviously Wayne swears by the mules.
Oh, he does.
He
yeah.
says they're a little less expensive because they don't eat as much. They tend to last a little bit longer. They can work for many more years.
Correct. Yeah.
But none of that it matters to you. You still
No.
rather work with the horses.
Yeah, I love my horses. You know. I mean, we grew up. You know, we raised these from babies. You know, out of our stud and everything. So it's just, you know,
It's in the blood.
it's in the blood. Yeah, absolutely.
Can I ask you this? Because we can see the mules in action. Whether it's the mules or the draft horses, how do you win a plowing competition?
Well, so it's judged on how straight you go, how well your plow turns the ground over. You want to cover all the trash. Your in and out, which is your start and stop on
Yes.
each end, and your finish. So you're judged. It's 100 points, and so it's divided up into 20 points per category, basically. So
Makes sense.
anybody can win. Females, kids, adults. You know, we have novice, junior,
Novice, you
ladies.
say? I'm stuck on that novice category.
Yeah, see, there you go. You could be a novice.
Would you mind if I ran away from you and I went and joined?
Absolutely.
Wayne, I got to wrap this thing up, but my goodness. Eric, can you run with me? Oh, you're not going to run, Eric? You're going to make me run by myself? All right. Hey, Wayne, can I help out? Be awesome if I wrapped this up while I was doing something. How about I just grab the controls here and you keep the bands on your shoulders and we'll move here because it is the draft horse plowing competition that sometimes involves mules. Saturday out here in McMinnville, it's Farmfest, gang, and we are having fun giving you that preview here this morning.